Hey, 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 friends, and welcome to today's edition of the Lindsey Show. Today, it is all things skin. Sometimes do you look at your skin and go like, why are you so finicky? Why are you so sensitive? What's with all these bumps and the hives and the eczema and the acne and all of the things? Well, today I talk to Dr. Trevor Cates, who is a naturopathic physician who struggled with her own skin well into her 30s until she came to the realization that medications were making her feel worse, antibiotics, antihistamines, topical steroids, none of it were really working for her. And she found a natural, holistic approach that helped to change everything. She realized that her diet matters. The water that she drinks matters. The stress in her life matters. All of these things really make a huge difference. So I'm going to be talking to her about her 4-step approach to creating beautiful skin from within. After that, in the next segment of the show, I will be sharing with you my daily skincare routine, and that includes not only what I put onto my skin, but also what I put into my body and some of the things that I notice make me look older, more tired, and less vivacious. Let's get to the show. Welcome to the Lindsey Show, a podcast that helps you find fulfillment amidst chaos. On this show, I interview thought leaders, doctors, creatives, spiritual gurus, and game changers who inspire you to pursue your dreams, overcome obstacles, and leave your mark. Dr. Trevor Cates is the author of the USA Today and Amazon best-selling book, Clean Skin from Within. And she is the founder of the Spa Doctor natural skincare line. She was the first woman licensed as a naturopathic doctor in California and currently lives in Park City, Utah, where she helps her patients from around the world achieve naturally glowing skin. She has been featured on TV shows, including The Doctors and Extra TV. She is also the host of the Spa Doctor Weekly podcast and her PBS special, Younger Skin from Within. She believes that skin is the inner and outer nourishment that we need to receive, that healthy skin gets inner and outer nourishment from natural and non-toxic ingredients. She is a licensed naturopathic physician with an education in science-based and integrative medicine with 18 years of experience. She can help you to determine what is best for your health as well as your skin needs. Her goal is not just to make your skin look good, but to get to the root cause of the health concern. Here we have yet another healthcare provider who is all about how do we get to the root cause of what is actually going on? How can we address the imbalances that exist and create a holistic approach to medicine so that your skin not only looks its best, but that it looks its best because you feel your best. So Dr. Trevor Cates, welcome to the Lindsey Show.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you. I had you on my podcast, so it's nice to be on yours.
I know. So I was on the Spa Doctor podcast last year when I was exploring whether or not I even liked podcasting. So thank you for believing in me and then also for joining us today to share your wealth of knowledge with our listeners.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell us how you got interested in dermatology, in skincare. What led you down this path to realize that skin is actually kind of a reflection of what's going on inside of us?
Yeah, well, I haven't always focused on skin in my practice in the almost 20 years that I've been seeing patients. It wasn't like that in the beginning, but it was probably, I think it was about 8 years ago when I was working at the Waldorf Astoria, And I was the doctor in the spa, the Waldorf Astoria here in Park City. And I was doing a 2-week weight loss program. And at the end of the 2 weeks, people would say, Dr. Cates, I've lost weight. I feel great. What really surprises me though is my skin. I didn't know my skin could look this good. So what they were noticing was if they had skin problems, that their skin problems, these chronic issues they've been having for years, were starting to clear up. And that people, and then people who never really thought that they had skin problems, right? Wow, my skin is glowing. It's healthier than I've ever seen it. I'm getting compliments on my skin. And to me, I wasn't surprised to hear that because I know that skin is an outer reflection. We know skin is an outer reflection of our inner health. I call skin our magic mirror that gives us great clues about our overall health. But I realized in that moment that not everybody was looking at skin that way, and that the conventional approach to dermatology is that when you have a skin issue, you use a topical cream or a steroid, or just suppress it, or with cosmetics, you just use more makeup to cover it up and get creative. So I really wanted to help people, and actually, what got me interested in becoming a naturopathic physician had a lot to do with my own skin, because as a child I had allergies and I was sick a lot and my skin showed it. So I would have eczema, hives, mysterious bumps and rashes that would appear, that not only would I feel physically uncomfortable and that itching, but also what I was embarrassed by the appearance of my skin, and it really affected my self-esteem. And when I was a kid, my parents took me to see a lot of different conventional doctors and specialists, and I was put on a lot of different medications that I would either have an adverse reaction to or an allergic reaction to. So I just kept feeling worse. And eventually, after years of this, eventually my parents took me to see a holistic practitioner. And that was the one thing that turned my health around. And I remember thinking at 11 years old, I remember thinking, why was this not, why was this approach not given to us in the beginning? Why did I have to go through all this suffering to get to this option? And so that was, it instilled this interest at an early age. And then when I eventually, when I was in college, I heard about naturopathic medicine in naturopathic medical school. And so that's what got me so excited to go on that path to help others.
So, when you wrote your book, which I have a copy of, The Clean Skin Within, you talk about how there are 4 different types of skin that we need to address. And you have a quiz on your website, theskinquiz.com, that can help you to determine which of the 5 skin types that you have. And so, talk to us about what the 5 skin types are, and perhaps how people with each of these different skin types can nourish their body with food as well as select the best products to actually apply to their skin.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was thinking about, when I was writing my book and I was thinking about the typical skin types, dry, oily, mature, sensitive, these skin types, I thought, well, this doesn't really help people truly address the root cause behind their skin. It might help them figure out, how heavy of a moisturizer to use or something like that, but it doesn't really help from an inside out approach. And I was seeing patterns in my patients of these root causes with patients. And what I found is that there are 6 root causes behind skin issues. And I realized that there are certain patterns I was seeing with these. So that's how I created the 5 skin types, because not everybody has all 6 root causes. But people can take the skin quiz and find out which skin type they are. And I decided to give them all human names because I always see my patients as people, not just a skin issue. And so they're Amber, Olivia, Sage, Emmett, and Heath. And they have to do with they each have their, a few root causes associated with it. So then people can really dial in what they need to do, because that's what I do in my practice with working with patients. I look for the underlying cause and address that, as you mentioned. And so I want people to be able to do some of that work on their own. And this becomes a great tool to help them figure out if they've got which of the root causes that they have. And then in my book, I have a 2-week program, and that way they can kind of customize it based upon their skin type. I give specific recommendations.
Okay, so what are some of the root causes that are causing people to have like their skin not to be glowing and vibrant and youthful and all of the things that we want people to describe our skin as?
Right. And so when I talk about root causes, when I mention these, you'll probably realize that this isn't just related to skin. This is related to a lot of other health issues, nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, microbiome imbalances, blood sugar issues, oxidative damage. These are some of the ones that, the big ones. And, if we can get and address those, then we can not only help the skin, but we can help our health in other ways. And so what I noticed in my practice is, so inflammation is another big root cause, right? And so what I noticed in my practice is that I would hear these stories from my patients. They would come in and tell me their medical history, and they would be coming in to see me for like an autoimmune disease as an adult, and they would give me their history, and I saw this pattern a lot of, well, when I was a kid, I had eczema, and I was given a topical steroid, and I covered it up. It started to go away, and we've managed it well. It would come back every now and then, but it was managed that way. And then later on, I developed asthma, and I was given an inhaler, and so I managed it with the inhaler. But if they never address the root cause, and then they would come and see me with an autoimmune disease because their immune system was out of balance, because the root cause behind the eczema was never addressed. So then it showed up in their health as asthma, and then it showed up as autoimmune disease. So this is the thing, is skin is this really great tool that it oftentimes gives us early signs that something's out of balance. And if we can address it early on, then we can avoid other health issues down the road. Now, it's never too late. I mean, sometimes people will come see me and they'll have acne and a number of other health issues, and that's okay. But it is one of those early signs, like dry skin and hypothyroidism can be an early warning sign. And so I really want to encourage people to pay attention to their skin and not ignore it.
Absolutely. And so I think a lot of our listeners get very, very nervous about toxins in the environment, toxins in personal care products, in the makeup products. What do you think are some of the biggest offenders that we all need to eliminate from our skincare routines, as well as just environmental toxins that we might find around our house that could be causing us to have skin problems?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a really good question. And I talk a lot about it in my book, Clean Skin from Within. In the clean slate and the clean body sections of the book, I talk a lot about what, with skincare products, what to avoid. And then in the clean body section, what to avoid in your home and your environment in other ways. But yeah, it's such a big problem, because right now at this time, we're exposed to more toxins in our environment than we ever have been. If you think about all of the toxic chemicals that are still being created today, plus we have all the ones that continue to exist in the environment and the soil and our water and our air, and even ones that have been banned are still existing in the environment. So anything that we can do to reduce our total exposure is important. And we want to focus on the areas where we have the most control. And that has to do with the foods we eat, the water we drink, what we bring in our homes, and what we put on our bodies, those personal care products we use. So that's why I really think skincare products are an important place. And I think it is a place where people go last to avoid toxins, because they don't think of their skin as being a route of it getting into the body. People oftentimes are putting things on their skin without thinking about what's in it. So let me give an example. So one of the ingredients that's in so many personal care products that we use is fragrance. And fragrance is something we just kind of look over it, because we don't really think of it necessarily as a toxic ingredient. Plus, it's listed as one ingredient, but it's definitely not one ingredient.
I know, right?
It's a whole bunch of ingredients put into one. And there are a number of what we call endocrine disrupting chemicals or hormone disrupting chemicals that are actually in fragrance. One example of that is diethyl phthalate, DEP, which is a plasticizing agent. It's used in fragrance to help the smell last longer, but it is one of these hormone disrupting chemicals. And so again, it's really about the total load. We're getting exposed to these things in so many different places. So if we could start reducing our total exposure, we're going to be much better off. And the good news with skincare products these days is that there are natural alternatives, that we can find skincare products that are either with no fragrance or that are scented with organic essential oils. That's what we use at the Spa Doctor, is we use one of those alternatives instead.
So, if someone is sitting back and they're like, if they are that patient, they had eczema as a kid and then they had asthma and now they have an autoimmune disorder, where do they start? Because I think that so many women, they get diagnosed with lupus or with rheumatoid arthritis and they just think life is done, you know? So, where can people start to reverse this process that has been going on since potentially even before they were born, or at least since they were a young child?
Right. Well, that's when it's really important to look at the root causes. What started it? And when you can find the root cause, that can really help with addressing it, because you also want to remove triggers that are worsening the condition, that are feeding into that root cause and making it worse. So, for example, inflammation being one of the big root causes, one of the things that happens with autoimmune disease is an internal inflammation that shows up on the skin. And so a lot of that starts in the gut. And so we want to look at healing the gut, looking at the gut microbiome. And there are a lot of times with people with autoimmune disease, they have trigger foods that worsen it. So identifying those foods, fixing the health of the gut, addressing nutritional deficiencies, all of those things can help people. So really when it comes to where to start is to look for tools like, I mean, the skin quiz would be one of them, theskinquiz.com, looking for ways to start identifying what are the root causes, what are the underlying things that you can do. And really, I think for a lot of people, doing a program like the Clean Skin from Within program is a great place to start. And then to supplement that, looking for maybe a naturopathic physician or a functional medicine doctor that could do some testing to really hone in more specific treatments.
So when people look in the mirror, I've often heard that, your whole body is like mapped on your face and that you might be able to tell something about what is going on in your body. Is that true? Like, can I really look at my face and go like, man, I may have inflammation in my large intestines, or, this is looking like my stomach is inflamed. What's been your research in that, and what truly can we look in the mirror and observe on our skin that has real scientific evidence of like, this may be the canary in the cave?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, like I was saying, a lot of times our skin is an early warning sign, and that there are definitely things to look for. I think one of the biggest things is to get used to what your skin looks like. And if you're continuing to look, first thing in the morning, checking out the skin on your face, or before you get in the shower, looking at the skin on your body and looking for changes. And because any kind of change, either in the right direction, or like my skin, I'm having more dryness, it's more dull, I'm breaking out, I have some redness, itching, scaling, any of those kinds of changes, it could be that it's like trying to tell you something. Either it could be something with your lifestyle. So maybe you're extra stressed. Maybe you have been eating differently. And hey, a lot of people have been we've been staying home more. And so it is a little bit of a different routine that we've been experiencing. So I have been hearing a lot of people say they're having more problems with their skin. They're noticing differences in their skin. And that's really, a lot of it has to do with a routine. Now, as far as what you're saying is like a correlation of spleen, liver, kidneys, or that ties more into Chinese medicine, and I think that there is some interesting aspects to that. I can't say that it is as simple as some people make it. I do think that there are certain things like, dark circles under the eyes. That's oftentimes a sign of some sort of allergy. They're called allergic shiners, because if people are getting those, then either there's something in their environment or something that they're eating. There's a good chance that that's a component. Now, it's also, it could be a genetic thing where it could be like a pigmentation thing. It could be genetics. So there's that too. There are various things. And also if women in particular are breaking out along the jawline, that's oftentimes more hormonal related. So we want to look at hormonal imbalances as being a root cause. So there are certain things patterns that we can look at, but everybody is unique. And I think it's really getting familiar with your own body and its changes.
So right now, everyone is talking about maskne. Everybody is saying we got to wear these masks, and people are breaking out. One of my dear friends who battled with acne her entire life. So she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm breaking out again. So in these evolving times, if people are choosing to wear a mask and they're noticing changes in their skin, there's a lot of flippin' toxins in those masks, and you're holding all the debris and the bacteria on your face all day. What have been your recommendations in this current moment for your patients to care for their skin? Even the skin, nurses have been reaching out to me saying that they're completely raw behind the ears and they don't know what to do. And so, what have been some of your adaptations to help people care for their skin right now?
Right. Well, part of it depends on the type of mask they have to wear. So healthcare providers have to wear a certain specific type of mask that gives them extra protection. And so that's a little bit more challenging because you don't really have any options for different masks to wear. You have to wear the specific one. But for people who are just doing it for own personal use, I think the recommendations are now that you can use the cloth mask, and that those are safe enough for, the general public. And so having those, then you have the ability to wash them and keep them clean, especially for women wearing makeup to, first of all, maybe you don't even need to wear makeup if you're walking around with a mask on, right? And if your skin's really healthy, you probably don't need to wear the makeup in the first place. But, that could be something to think about is keeping those masks clean, using the reusable ones and washing them. And then the same thing with just your face. If you tend to be sensitive, maybe you need to do an extra cleaning skincare routine in the middle of the day or sometime during the day to help with that. And so that would just be a couple of little recommendations. No,
I
it's
know
tough.
it's such a trying time because everybody is like, wait, what are we doing? What's the recommendation today versus yesterday? And so thinking about people that are like, they're ready. They're so ready to have clean, clear skin, and they know that diet and sleep and exercise and all of that is a piece of the puzzle. So talk to us more about your clean skin program, and what are the talking points that you think, okay, these are the things that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks? What are the key pillars of the program?
Yeah, so there are four different aspects, and that's clean plate, clean slate, clean body, and clean mind. So the clean plate are the foods to eat, foods to avoid part of the program. So I talk about 10 big trigger foods or drinks also, and you eliminate those during the 2 weeks, and then I explain how to reintroduce some of these back in and find out for yourself if these truly are trigger foods for you. And then I also talk about foods that are very nourishing for the skin, and those foods to focus on, because it's not just about what you take out, but it's also about getting the right nutrients that are rich in antioxidants, rich in essential fatty acids, things that we need for the health of the skin. Zinc, vitamin C, collagen, those are all nutrients our body really needs for healthy skin. And so those are foods we want to include. And then with the clean slate is about what you're putting on your skin. So not only, again, not only taking out the toxic ingredients like fragrance, but what are we going to use instead? And how do you find the right organic essential oils? How do you find the right natural ingredients and what to look for? Because that is really important. It's not, again, not just about taking out the toxins, but you got to get the right ingredients. And things like the pH of the products are important to help the skin barrier function. And having a good cleanser that doesn't strip the skin, but helps hydrate while it's cleansing. Those are the kinds of things that I talk about in Clean Slate. And then Clean Body is, again, what toxins, how to remove other toxins in your environment, how to support the body's pathways of detoxification. And Clean Mind is about stress management, mindfulness practices that are so important right now because they definitely tie into worsening of skin issues. And I have heard people having more struggles with skin issues because of the high stress levels that people have been under.
I completely agree. I had a woman reach out to me just yesterday and she said, I love essential oils. I use them all the time, but every essential oil breaks me out. It's this, it's that. And it was a brand that I love and trust. And so I knew it wasn't the quality of the essential oil that was the problem, which can be a major problem. But my first question to her was, how is your stress level? Because I think when the stress levels get really high, cortisol makes our skin twitchy. You know what I mean? It makes it just overreact to everything out there. Now, I'm interested because you started your own skincare line, and you also are talking about how it's not just about taking out the toxic stuff. And there are so many buzzwords right now when it comes to skincare. But if the label of the product I'm using says, dermatologist tested, hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic, if it's all natural, all organic, does that necessarily mean it's safe? Or are there even additional layers that consumers need to be looking for to know that this is really, truly excellent skincare?
Right, it's a really great question, and unfortunately, there are a lot of false marketing claims or overhype when it comes to the skincare world, and not as much in the way of regulation. So the words natural and hypoallergenic are words that actually really have no meaning. It's just about marketing. When it says organic, now there are regulations around organic and what can be labeled as organic. So that's a little bit, it depends on what the claim is, but something like dermatologist recommended, what does that even mean? Like, who is the dermatologist? And
That's
you have to
exactly
kind of ask.
it.
Yeah, you have
Which
to
dermatologist,
yeah, yes. So, I mean, I think understanding the philosophies and the practices behind a company can be helpful. I with my company, our quality control is so much higher and stricter than other companies, and I know that because it takes a lot longer for our products to get approved and for us to be ready to sell them to our customers. And our QC department, they say to us, we know we've worked with other skincare companies, and other skincare companies, most companies do not do this. They have very little QC, and it's just like, what can we get away with and keep products cheap and have a long shelf life? And even companies that are making so-called natural skincare products, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's truly clean and natural, or that they're using the highest quality ingredients or formulations. So I wish that I could say there was some really great way for everyone to know that their products are safe and that a claim is real or it's not. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. But there are some organizations that are doing work on trying to educate consumers and to give some information. So Environmental Working Group is one of those, ewg.org. They have a verification that they will do with products. So my products, the Spot Actor skincare products, we are EWG verified with our daily essential skincare products. And so I know that they look very carefully at the ingredients and where they come from. They looked a lot they asked us for a lot of information. So that is one. And I think that there are others, but it's not like it has to go through some sort of regulatory agency in order to be available in the public. So it's really
Yeah,
up to consumers.
I know. I agree. People think that there's way more oversight going into what's not only in our skincare, but what's in our supplements, what's in our food. Unfortunately, there's not. There's not great oversight, and that makes it very challenging for consumers to make their decisions. So, bottom line, if somebody comes to you, or you're sitting on an airplane, remember those things, those airplanes. And so if you're sitting next to somebody and they say, okay, give me the 10-second answer, what is the bottom line best things that I can do for my skin?
Well, I would go back to the things that I mentioned, those categories I talk about in my book, that you want to make sure that you're nourishing your body from the inside out with the right foods. And then you want to make sure that you're clean slate. You've got the right skincare routine that is free of toxins, but also providing the mild acidity, the support to the skin microbiome, the nourishment that it needs from natural ingredients. And then the third thing is to make sure that you're doing your best to support your detoxification pathways, keeping your body clean overall, and then the stress management, the mindfulness part of it. So those four different aspects. And it's not that you can do that once a year, do a cleanse and expect to be able to eat junk the rest of the year and stay stressed. It's really daily practices. And honestly, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take up a lot of your time. It can be super quick. I mean, that's why I created the Spa Doctor skincare line. Our system is a 4-step system, and it's super simple to use. It doesn't take much time. Mindfulness practices, even if you close your eyes and you take some deep breaths when you feel stressed, things like that. Start your day with a healthy smoothie. I mean, those just little steps like that can be so valuable, but it's got to be ongoing.
Yeah. It's not you can't just do it once and
Yeah.
expect for it to last forever. It's like my colleague Ed Daly asked me one time. I was complaining to him because I was like, my hamstrings are so tight. It does not matter how much I stretch, they just say so tight. And he said, how long did it take you to get into this body? And I was like I've lived in this body my whole life. And he was like, well, why do you expect to be able to get out of it in 1 or 2 days? And it's the same thing with your skin. It's absolutely the same thing. So, well, Dr. Trevor Cates, before I let you go, are you ready for some lightning round questions?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your number one strength?
My number one strength, I would say, is just love. I mean, love sharing love and reminding people of their own inner love. Yep.
Oh, I
Lovable.
love that. What is the thing that you struggle with the most?
Um, the thing I struggle with the most, I would say, are people that are negative, people that are like put her downers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, can't stand those peeps. If you could give some advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I would say, yeah, I think that lovability aspect, I think, as kids, we just kind of like the bully, I got bullied a lot as a kid. So I would just, kind of try and remind myself that you're lovable and yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry that you got bullied as a kid. Kids out there listening, don't be mean. Be a
I
nice
know.
kid, right? It's like, it's you being mean to somebody else is you being mean to yourself, because what we see in ourselves, we project onto other people. And so, who has been your greatest inspiration?
I would say probably my father. He's the one that encouraged me to go to naturopathic medical school. He was my biggest cheerleader before he passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh, what keeps you up at night?
My kids,
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
my teenagers.
Uh, oh, your teenagers. So I
Yeah,
was gonna say, and not because they're loud, but this may be because they're loud
yeah,
and
more
coming
of
in
like
late.
worry.
Yes, yes. Where are they? Am I sure that they're in their beds? All of those things. So, last but not least, God to you is.
Um, Divine inspiration.
Well, everybody, I encourage you, check out Dr. Trevor Cates. You can find your skin personality type at theskinquiz.com, and you can find her website at the spa doctor, that's dr.com. So thank you so much for being on the Lindsey Elmore Show.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
If you are a real menstruating human, I cannot say enough for how much period-proof panties from Thinx will change your period for the better. Whether you grab a thong for the days leading up to your period or grab a super high-waisted pair that holds up to 4 tampons worth of flow, Thinx gives you the confidence that you need to tackle anything that life throws at you while you're on your period. For me personally, since I switched to Thinx, I find that my periods are less painful, lighter, shorter, and they are most definitely less wasteful. Plus, I just love the mission and vision of the company. All menstruators deserve to have choice, access, and common sense understanding of how to care for themselves when they're on their periods. If you're ready to ditch the pads and tampons and join the revolution, head to www.shethinks.com/Lindsey Elmore to save $10 off of your order. That's www.shethinx.com/Lindsey Elmore to save $10 off of your new favorite pair of period-proof panties. In this segment, I want to talk to you about some of my favorite aspects of my skincare routine and really talk to you about some of my favorite products, some of my favorite DIYs, and some of my favorite foods that go into taking care of my skin. First and foremost, back in my good old pageant days, there was one thing that we called the Beauty Queen's mantra, and it's moisture, moisture, moisture. And I think a lot of girls and a lot of women, they imply that to mean that it's moisture on the skin. But really and truly, I think the most important thing that you can do is to put moisture in to your skin. And that starts by drinking plenty of water. I am lucky that I have always loved to drink water, but if you struggle to drink water, it is critical that you get water from your foods. Think about cucumbers and watermelons and things that you might like to eat that are going to help to bring water into your diet, because if you're not nourishing your skin from within, it is not going to look good on the outside. And so moisture is the first key to having healthy skin. So that means that we not only need to drink plenty of water, eat plenty of water, hydrate our skin from the outside, perhaps using emollients if you live in a humid environment where you can absorb moisture out of the air, but it also means avoiding harsh chemical cleansers, which can strip away the natural oils of the skin. My primary go-to skincare is from a company called Young Living that I have used for many a year. I love tons of their skincare products, and I mix and match those with some easy DIYs. And then I also am very cognizant to be sure to get all of my makeup off at the end of the day, because I do use conventional makeup products that a lot of people cannot tolerate. I personally can use them, and I like the way that they look better than a lot of natural makeups. And so being sure to get makeup off of the skin at the end of the day, and I think not feeling the pressure to wear makeup every single day is also extraordinarily liberating. There are times that I will go a week on end without makeup. Now, to be fair, if you live in a highly polluted environment, A bit of makeup may actually help to protect your skin from all of the environmental toxins around you. So weigh the pros and cons of wearing the makeup versus taking time away from the makeup, depending on where you live, depending on how your nutrition is, and depending on how your skin looks. And one of my favorite things that Dr. Cates said in my interview with her is, when you have great skin, you should not need a ton of makeup. And the way to get great skin is to take care of your body from within. That is what is critical. I wear makeup because I like makeup. And so how do I care for my skin with products? So every day at the end of the day, I take my makeup off using a makeup removing wipe. It's from Young Living. It's the Savvy Minerals line. I love how gentle the product is, how it doesn't have any artificial fragrances. It is all natural ingredients. They are very lightweight, and so you can use them really closely up under the eyes, but they're strong enough to get most of the makeup off of your eyelids, all the mascara, all the eyeshadow, all of that. I then follow up with an oil cleanser called Mira. And I love Mira because, especially the days where I wear false eyelashes, which isn't every day, but it's more often than a lot of women wear false eyelashes. And so on those days, I love the Mira, and I love to get right at the base of the lash and just gently get rid of each one. Ladies, lesson learned. If you are using makeup artists ever, ask a lot of questions about what kind of glue that they are using with your lashes, because you really want some gentle glues, and you want to make sure that you might even consider having your own glue on hand if you're someone who does false eyelashes on the regular. So get the eyelashes off with the Mira. I then life changing. So I love FabFitFun, and I open their boxes a lot on my Facebook page. They sent me this wash rag called the Make Off. It is the most magical thing ever. You know, the Savvy Minerals wipes, I like to get a good once over, but this Make Off, it's a wash rag, but it's not as dense a pile. It's not as rugged a twisted cotton, and so it just like the makeup just comes right off. And the best thing about it is the makeup comes right off not only your face, but it comes right off when you wash the darn wash rag. And how many of you have ruined wash rags from not having the right one? So the Make Off, I'm sorry, it's not Make Off. Make Off is another brand that I have used from one of my makeup artists. Make Off is another wipe. This wash rag that I'm talking about is called the Makeup Eraser, and it is amazing, and it will save you so much in your laundry because you're not ruining all of your washcloths. Okay, so now that my makeup is effectively off, I then wash my face. So I wash my face with the Art Gentle Cleanser both in the morning and in the evening. So Art Gentle Cleanser, reasons that I like it. Number one, it has really gentle, something called surfactants. So surfactants are molecules that are built in two parts, where part of it's fatty and part of it's watery. The fatty part will stick to all of the fats on the skin, and then the watery part helps to pull it off into solution. So I wash my face with that. I'm also getting a nice heavy dose of frankincense, sandalwood, lemon essential oil, lavender essential oil, as well as Melissa essential oils. I then use my own homemade toner. So I like a probiotic toner. So I use a base of water with some apple cider vinegar, some jojoba oil, frankincense, lavender. You could put rose in there. I could see some people even putting some more earthy aromas like myrrh into this. You can really be creative when you're making your DIYs. At this point, I sometimes will either put frankincense all over my face, or I will use something called the Essential Beauty Serum. This is another product from Young Living. I know I'm talking a lot about Young Living in this segment, but honestly, it is the skincare that I use, and I love the products. And so I just share what is authentic. And so this one, the frankincense is an essential oil. So that is more for some antioxidant effects on the face. But then the Essential Beauty Serum is a serum that has fatty oil as well as essential oil. And so you're getting a really heavy dose of cedar wood in there. And so that is a really great product for deep, deep moisture. Sometimes I can tend to get dried out in this region of my face. So sometimes I'll just dab it on. As always, if you're going to be applying essential oils to your face, be sure that you're going really gently. And if you get it in your eye and it's ever painful, be sure that you rinse it with some fatty oil. Then I have my quintessential skin spray. I spray this on every day. I use it on my body, on my face, everywhere. So this quintessential skin spray was one of the first products that I ever made. It was the first product that I ever made out of essential oils, and I still use it to this day. I used it because I went out onto the beach, got too much sun, and I went to the grocery store and I said, "Hey guys, you got anything for skin that's been out in the sun too long?" And they were like, "Yes, try this spray." I used it. I loved it. I wanted more. When I went to go to find it, couldn't find it in a local store. When I went online, I couldn't find it online except for when the shipping was the same price as the product. So I was like, well, dang, I'm a pharmacist. Chances are I can figure this out. So I turned the bottle around and I'm reading what's in it, and it's water. Okay, I can do that. Calendula oil. All right, I can do that. Vitamin E oil. And then it goes into lavender, geranium, sandalwood, Roman chamomile. And I was like, okay, well, I can find those. And so I made this, and I've made it ever since. And I use them every day. Just shake the bottle really well before you spray it on. Next up, I use a product called the Art Renewal Serum, and this product contains wild orchid extract, and this one is just very soothing on the skin. It has some probiotics in there. I told you I like a probiotic toner. That's why I use that raw apple cider vinegar. This one also has a little bit of probiotics, which can help to strengthen the skin, as well as strengthen the immune function of the skin, which is important. Then I move on to moisturizer, and I use the Art Intensive moisturizer almost all of the time. If I am in a really, really hot environment, I will go for the Art Light moisturizer, but I love this intensive moisturizer because it has muro seed butter that like deeply hydrate the skin. It has gentle acids that help to exfoliate. It also soothes the skin really well, and it also may help to reduce all those signs of aging that none of us want to have. So the other thing that I do sometimes is exfoliate, and I exfoliate my body and my skin on the regular. So I have a ton of DIY exfoliants. I have made coffee scrubs, sugar scrubs, salt scrubs, eucalyptus scented one, rose scented one, frankincense scented ones. You can do a ton of stuff with it. I also love an Epsom salts bath to help as we're on that salt kick. I'll come back to exfoliation in a moment. But the Epsom salts too, you can really help to detoxify through your skin. A lot of people think that detoxification is one thing. Everybody's like, how do I detoxify? Okay, there are only 3 basic ways I guess there are more than 3, but there's only a few basic ways to detoxify. You can poop it out, you can sweat it out, you can breathe it out. that's basically it. And so when we aid our skin in that detoxification process through sweat or by using something like hot Epsom salts baths to induce sweating, but also to help pull some of those toxins out, we really, really can help our skin to improve its looks. So back to exfoliation. Let's differentiate between exfoliating the face versus exfoliating the body. Well, the body is going to be able to take a lot more deep exfoliation than the rest, than your face. And there are places on your body that are going to be able to take the deepest exfoliation of all, namely the hands and the feet. Maybe the knees, the elbows can really take a lot, but use a much, much more gentle exfoliant on your face than you would on your body. Word to the wise, exfoliate your armpits. I promise you, you're going to sweat less. You're going to, the aroma of the sweat is going to be less. You're going to reduce your risk of getting those clogged pores up under the arms, reduce that risk of just feeling gross at the end of the day. So that is, then last but not least is the mask. And I love doing a mask, not because it's like the great and holy grail of skincare. I love doing a mask because it's fun and it's relaxing and it's a moment that you can just tilt your head back and chill. And so there are two basic kinds of masks, and one is detoxifying. These are going to be your clay masks, your charcoal masks, etc. You then can get into your moisturizing and soothing and restoring masks. These can be paper masks. They also can just be a deep moisture mask that then you wipe off and rinse off and then wash your face. I typically would wash my face after using one of those. Some women don't. It just depends on how dry your skin is. So create your masks from either clays, or you can use, if you're looking to do a moisturizing mask, thinking of ingredients like your cocoa butters, your shea butters mixed with your jojoba oils, or even like an aloe vera gel would be really good to loosen that up. And so keep those in mind as just a maybe once a week kind of thing. What I do if I'm going to do the exfoliation in the mask, wash your face first. Get all your makeup off first. Wash your face, then exfoliate, then put your mask on, and then I go back to washing my face, doing the toner, doing the renewal serum, doing the moisturizers, etc. So now we've talked about water, but what you eat really matters as well. The more that you can get foods that are rich in antioxidants like fruits and vegetables into your diet, the better your skin is going to look, and the rest of your body is also going to function better as well. Bonus. So you're going to be sure that you're eating plenty of beta carotene, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A. Those can all help to curb free radicals. And these free radicals not only harm the inside of your body, but they harm the outside of your body as well. So keep that in mind. The less alcohol that you can drink, the younger and more youthful your skin is going to look, because guess what? You're not dehydrating yourself each and every night. Be sure that you are avoiding as much outdoor pollution as you can, avoiding secondhand smoke. Definitely hope that none of you are still smoking these days. And if you are, let's talk. I actually am certified to help people stop smoking. So keep that in mind. If ever you're ready and whenever you're ready, let's talk. So you can also think about some supplementation. So if you're in a position where you're not ready you're not in a place where you can eat an absolutely impeccable diet, think about supplementing with just a basic antioxidant multiple vitamin that contains vitamins C, E, A, as well as your beta carotenes. And so you can try the supplements is a wonderful way to do it. I also love for the skin, I love sulfur. So sulfur is critical for the structure of your skin as well as your hair and your nails. So consider getting a supplement that contains methyl sulfonyl methane, or MSM. So MSM is found within a wide variety of supplements. It's basically safe for everyone to take because we can build MSM in our own body. We excrete MSM into breast milk. It is a sulfur donor with it's a sulfur group with 2 methyl groups associated with it. And so what it does is it becomes a sulfur donor in your body. And sulfur in your body helps to build your hair, skin, and nails. And also, if you have curly hair, the thing that is keeping your hair in locked curls is sulfur bonds. So when on the days when I wear my hair naturally curly instead of blowing it straight like it is today, I will use a curl shampoo that helps to lock in those sulfur bonds. You can do that naturally simply by having enough sulfur in your body. And so if you are interested in learning more about my daily skincare routine, if you want the recipes for all of the DIYs that I mentioned today, all you have to do is head to www.lindseyelmore.com/daily-skin-care-routine. It's a lot of dashes. Just put them in between all the words, www.lindseyelmore.com. Daily skincare routine with all those dashes in between. So I am looking forward to hearing back from you. Send us a message and let us know what your favorite skincare products are. And if you have questions about how you can reverse the signs of aging, how you can feel younger, look younger, all those things, you guys know I'm just one email away. See you later. The Lindsey Elmore Show is written and produced by me, Lindsey Elmore. Show segments are produced by Sue Procco and Kelsey Lorman. Production design, sound design, and editing is by Jive Media. If you have a question about this or any other episode of the podcast, send us an email to hello@lindseyelmoreshow.com. And hey, since you're still here, take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. And while you're at it, go over and follow us on Instagram @Lindsey Elmore Show. This helps us bring the pod to more people.